exploring lakes, rivers, and reservoirs across the country with an unyielding goal to enlighten viewers from a fisheye perspective. Come along and we'll investigate the habitat. Much more than a fishing show, this is an eye-opening aquatic experience. Welcome to Kim Stricker's Hook and Look. Blueback herring, an anadromous species, have found their way into several southeastern reservoirs. Their introduction has drastically altered the feeding habits of resident game fish, compelling anglers to modify presentations accordingly. This week, Kim and his guest Brian Evans carefully dissect the inner workings of a marina breakwall and its connection to bluebacks, ultimately making the most out of their observations.
Lake Lanier spotted bass.
Nice.
It's the break of dawn in early May as the Hook and Look crew launch in north-central Georgia. Exhibiting a sense of eagerness, Kim boards his boat and idles his way out with Seagar's brand manager, Brian Evans. Assisting in today's production and pointing the way is well-known Lake Lanier guide, Jim Mathley. He directs Kim towards a floating marina, in particular, the adjacent breakwall which flanks its outer perimeter. For it's at this time, this type of structure attracts schools of the lake's non-native forage species.
The blueback herring are a species of baitfish that are now commonly found in southeastern lakes and reservoirs. They are not indigenous to these waters, however. They were an invasive species that have been introduced into places like Lake Lanier and other southeastern reservoirs in the late 1990s. Since that time, it has really changed the dynamic of the way these lakes have fished. The blueback herring are very pelagic. They are free-roaming, open water sort of bait fish, and it really changes how these lakes fish as a result.
There you go. Oh. There you go. There you go, Brian. Looks like a good one, too. Yes, sir.
Oh. There we go.
Good job. Starting us off.
Yes.
About time, I tell you. We worked the morning pretty good.
A little bit cooler than we expected, but a nice spot to start the day off.
A nice stocky one.
On the Straight King Rage Swimmer.
Rage swimmer.
That's a good bait right there. Nice fish, pretty color.
Absolutely. You've got herring up and down here that are coming up and spawning along this little wall thing. I mean, look at it. We're in 72 foot of water.
Mm-hmm. And those fish will come up in that deep of water. Isn't it amazing?
Right along these walls.
I'm gonna go ahead and let this one go.
Yeah, you got that. Good job.
We were targeting these marina seawalls because this is a surface against which the blueback herring spawn. When they spawn, their egg sacs are actually sticky, so they can adhere to vertical surfaces. Therefore, the bluebacks will spawn on places like marina seawalls, bridge pilings, in addition to other features around the lake like sandy saddles between islands, as well as blow-throughs and even rocky points.
There's definitely schools of bluebacks.
Yeah, there's plenty of bait. The bait is very abundant. Oh yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, it's a decent one too, it looks like.
Let me get the net.
Oh.
What's that?
Yeah, it's a decent fish too. Yes, sir.
There you go.
There's a nice spot.
Nice job.
Now see, he ate it. He swallowed it. Swallowed that thing. Get it out of there. There we go.
He did eat that one good.
Now that's a good, solid, chunky Lake Lanier spot.
Yes.
You know, it's not a magnum, but it's just a good, solid tournament-sized fish.
Absolutely.
And they are pretty.
Absolutely. Good fish, man.
That's that Georgia jewelry.
And you caught it on that spot too.
Yes, sir. Well, hey.
Let's
We
do it.
maybe have got a pattern going here.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, maybe we'll see what we do. We'll cover more of these, huh? All right. You ate that little Rage swimmer. Thank you.
Be sure to follow Hook and Look on Facebook and Instagram. We'll be right back. Hook and Look is brought to you by Strike King Lure Company, #1 in fishing lures. Lose, feel the difference. Power Pole, swift, silent, secure. Seagar, trust Seagar when everything is on the line. And by AquaView, reinventing underwater cameras. Welcome back to Lake Lanier. Kim and his guest Brian Evans have been taking advantage of the blueback herring spawn along marina seawalls. Yet there are other productive patterns to exploit, and few know these details as intimately as professional guide Jim Mathley.
I guide close to 300 days here on Lake Lanier. In addition to the seawalls that we fish today on Hook and Look, another predominant pattern on the lake is fishing man-made brush piles, of which there are thousands in the lake. These piles are placed specifically on relevant structure, such as long-running points and humps. We use the rage swimmer very effectively to swim over those brush piles and attract bites from fish that relate to those brush piles.
The bait looks good coming through the water, especially with the dyeing the tip of the tail with a little chartreuse.
Yeah.
Here, fishy, fishy, fishy.
That works. Fish. Fish out. Hold on a second, hold on a second. Let me get that net.
It's a small one.
Is it a little guy?
Yeah.
You want a net? Oh, I'll get a net. Yep. Yeah.
Ah, there we go.
It's a keeper. It's another keeper. Heck yeah.
Eating that swim bait.
Strike King offers a variety of sizes in the Rage Swimmer, from the 4 3/4 inch down to the little 2 3/4 inch, each having their time and place. Brian chose to downsize to the smallest. He tells us why.
So I caught this one on the Rage Swimmer 2.75. Kind of downsized because the bite's been a little bit slower today, and just decided I'd try a little smaller bait, and it worked.
Yeah.
First cast. On our spinning reels today, you may have noticed we were fishing a bright green, high visibility braided line. This is a new smackdown line called Flash Green. And the benefit to using this line wasn't necessarily the most important today, but on a spinning reel in general, it's nice to use a bright colored line that you can use for sight fishing, and you can watch the line to detect the smallest, lightest bite. Got one.
All right, all right. The good one?
Oh, I was fighting like it was a good one.
Ooh, you know that?
It wants
Nothing wrong with it.
It wants to play in this trolling motor.
There she is.
Another Lake Lanier spot on the 2.75 Rage Swimmer. And it's got a belly.
It does have a good belly.
That's nice. Good fish.
Eating them blueback herring.
Yes, they're gorging on them. Good fish.
Awesome.
Good fish.
Cool.
Put this one back to live another day.
Regardless of what size Rage Swimmer you use, by design, the rings on this bait are actually flanged towards the head. This feature cups the water, creating drag, enabling you to run the swim bait even slower. As you well know, it's customary on each episode for me to dive in for a bass eye view. But before I do, I'll often inspect the area first with my AquaView camera. Well, AquaView made it much easier to do so with the new Micro Revolution 5.0 Pro. In addition to the 5-inch high-res LCD monitor, AquaView added an industry-exclusive integrated camera reel. No more time-consuming unraveling or tangled cable on the deck. The camera simply unwinds, then reels up neatly.
Man, the detail on that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see everything.
Should be something on that brush pile right there. With the exception of 1 or 2 fish, the brush really wasn't showing me much. I was more interested in exploring under the floating marina breakwall. Now I'm recording this. This AquaView has a DVR. Look. See him?
Mm-hmm. Boy, you could have fun just looking at things with this camera.
Oh yeah.
They're right underneath.
Yeah, they're here. I see them.
I mean, we've seen 3 right here.
I can't wait to get in water now. They're here.
Stay tuned. We'll join Kim under the wall when Hook and Look returns.
I'm going down. Surprisingly, the clarity isn't as good as you would think.
So Kim, how deep are those boards going into the water?
It looks about 6 foot, just like we anticipated. There's a table and there's a fish on it.
Already seeing fish.
But as you can see, this lip right here, you got these cables coming down and the wall.
Are you seeing any bluebacks?
Oh, I'm not.
It could all do with the timing of the day as well.
I made this dive at high noon. The blueback spawning activity can be observed on the walls for the most part in the early AM hours. So it makes sense that a few hours after dawn is the prime window to take full advantage of the spotted bass feeding activity. I captured the blueback herring footage the following morning, but for now, I wanted to better understand how the spots relate to the structure.
Yeah, they just hang pretty much right near the bottom of the slip. Not necessarily under, inside there. The ones I'm seeing are at the bottom of the lip.
Copy that. So they're just hanging underneath that board and not necessarily on the inside edge that we couldn't get to. They're just looking to ambush those bluebacks.
They are at that lip level, that's 6 foot down, from what I see so far. So when we cast, it's good to let it go down just a little bit. And that's what I was doing. Oh, but there's some right there.
Initially, it appeared that the spotted bass were hanging primarily below the wood edge and schooled on the outside. However, upon further inspection, as I penetrated up under the floating wall, I discovered they were pretty much positioned everywhere within the structure.
From what we saw with the AquaView camera, they get up under this stuff. There's a little school in this area right here. Funny how those little schools come up and park on this, because they know where the bait is in the morning for sure.
So are you noticing those broken boards? Any spots hanging out right beside those to ambush the bluebacks?
Brian's intuition made perfect sense, as I did view some spots utilizing the open areas in the boards as a doorway. Yet from what I could see, it didn't appear to be a necessity to ambush their prey. The majority of the fish I observed simply swam under the wall, although once I spooked the fish from under the structure, I did catch a glance of a fish or two peeking in from outside the entranceway, hoping to return to the security of the overhead canopy.
You can see the algae that's growing.
That's probably what the bluebacks are feeding on.
Fact is, blueback herring feed primarily on zooplankton, small insects, small fish, and even the eggs of game fish. With that said, I did witness common carp grazing on the algae-coated wood, which was likely holding the eggs of blueback herring. This one was coughing up his lunch as he casually swam away, accompanied by a couple of spotted bass and even a striper. But what really surprised me is I didn't expect to see a walleye hanging on the vertical wall.
Just an FYI, we've got some boat traffic and some waves.
The waves rock the structure. The boards move. This last bit, I've seen more concentration of fish here. Not any giants or anything. This one's a good one. A decent 2-pounder.
You are at the end.
There was a few fish right at the end here. They're kind of sitting in this area. It seems to be a school that keeps swimming back. This footage I'm getting now tells the story.
Yeah, this is going to be some great footage.
I'm going to turn around and go back the other way. This is something we haven't covered before. Look, there's a fish there.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see that there are more fish here than I anticipated. And again, that's usually the case, but fishermen's perception isn't always correct, and mine included, that's for sure.
It's nice that you've seen all these fish.
Yeah, every 20 feet I see a fish, or 2 or 3.
Pretty impressive.
I mean, just like we were dropping that aqua field. Every hole that we dropped it in, we saw a fish. I'm pretty much seeing what we caught. They're on that average size, and you might see a little bigger one. But I haven't seen any magnums.
We'll hit the wall again in the morning, after we hear from our sponsors. This portion of Hook and Look is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Evinrude, the only outboard that lets you have it all. Sims Fishing Products, the choice of professional guides and anglers worldwide. Trickstep, because getting in and out of your trailered boat should be easy. And by Indian River, Michigan Tourist Bureau. Pure waters, pure trails, pure north.
Good old Georgia sunrise.
It's beautiful.
Never gets old.
When the herring are spawning on these seawalls and other vertical structures, the fish are aware. They know, they have a sense that those bait fish are there. And it's the time at which those blueback herring are the most vulnerable. These fish know they're there, and they know that they can capture them and push them against the wall and trap them there. And it's a perfect opportunity for them to get a great meal.
Ooh, that's a decent fish, yeah. That's a decent fish.
That may be one of those Magnum
Ooh, that's a good one.
Lake Lanier spots.
Ooh, nice fish. Get up here, old spotted bass. Ooh, man, he don't want to give up.
They got some fight in them.
That's a decent fish.
Got some fight in them.
Come on, come up to that net. Yeah,
There we go.
that was fun.
They fight great.
Good early morning spotted bass. And man, he
Ate that.
ate it big
Ate
time. That's at the top of his throat there. There we go. Now that is a nice fishing start off the morning, huh?
Need a few more of those today.
That we do, but look at there's just something about a spotted bass. They're a special fish, just like a smallmouth.
Oh, yeah.
There's something special about these old real largemouth.
And some people claim that a spotted bass fights harder than a smallmouth.
Well, I'd have to argue that, but well, good deal. Thank you.
Taking into consideration that the core of any angling presentation consists of several components, today's Seaguar system begins with Strike King's 3 3/4 inch Rage Swimmer and a 1/4 ounce Squadron jig head. The strength and clarity of 15-pound Seaguar Tatsu fluorocarbon line provides a sensitive connection to a Team Lew's Hypermag speed spool, paired with a 7-foot medium-action Team Lew's Custom Pro Series speed stick, delivering maximum sensitivity and smooth line flow.
Ooh, that sounds
feels like a better fish.
maybe I do need that.
That one feels pretty good. That one feels like a dandy. Whoa.
I can't even see him.
That's a big one. There he is.
Yep.
That's a good. Ooh.
You're gonna have to hold him up.
Oh. That is a good one.
There we go.
That's a good one. Another. The way he fought, I thought he was even bigger.
Yeah.
But that is
He had some energy.
a nice, solid spotted bass. There we go. That is the 3 3/4 inch Rage Swimmer. That's a 1/4 ounce squadrant head. It makes a perfect little swim bait. He actually gobbled it on the fall. I got next to the breakwall there. It dropped, and I just went to start reeling it. He hit it as soon as it turned.
Good stuff.
Good stuff all around. I want to thank Brian Evans and Lake Lanier guide Jim Mathley for putting us where we needed to be on this shoot. On our next episode, we sight fish for Lake St. Clair smallies. More good stuff next week on
Hook and Look.
Hook and Look is a Kim Stricker production.